10 strange things that happened in the night. Number 10, the vanishing hitchhiker. A man was driving home from a night out with his friends when he decided to pull over and hitchhike. He picked up a young woman who immediately got into the back seat and asked him to take her to a nearby town. But as they drove, he noticed that she wasn't getting any closer to opening the door. When they finally arrived at their destination, he opened the back door and turned around to see that the woman had vanished. No, 9, the mysterious lullaby. A woman woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of someone singing a lullaby. She couldn't see anyone in her bedroom, so she assumed that it was her husband. But then she started hearing footsteps in the hallway, and she could have sworn that she heard her name being called. When she finally mustered up the courage to go into the hallway, she saw nothing but darkness. No. 8, the sound of screaming. A man was awoken in the middle of the night by what sounded like a woman screaming. He assumed that it was a nightmare, but then he started hearing scratching sounds coming from his attic. He decided to investigate and found nothing but a small hole in the roof that must have been made by an animal. Number 7, the shadowy figure. A woman was getting ready for bed when she saw the shadow of a man standing in the corner of her room. She assumed that it was just her imagination, but then she started seeing the same shadow in other places around her house. She even started seeing it outside of her house, and it seemed to be following her everywhere she went. No, 6, the unexplained lights. A man was driving home late at night when he saw a set of strange lights in the sky. He pulled over to get a better look and saw that there were hundreds of tiny lights that seemed to be dancing around in the sky. He tried to film them, but the lights vanished before he could get his camera out. No. 5, the ghostly apparition. A woman was awakened in the middle of the night by the feeling of someone sitting on the edge of her bed. She could feel the weight of the person, but when she turned on the light, she saw no one. She started seeing the same apparition every night, and it always seemed to be watching her. No. 4, the moving objects. A man and his wife were awakened in the middle of the night to the sound of their baby's ice mobile moving by itself. They assumed that it was just a draft, but then they started hearing other strange noises around their house. They started finding things moved around, and they even saw the silhouette of a small child standing at the foot of their bed. No. 3, the whispers in the dark. A woman was home alone one night when she started hearing whispers coming from the closet in her bedroom. She ignored it at first, but then the whispers started sounding like voices. She finally worked up the courage to open the closet door and saw nothing but empty hangers and clothes. Now 2, the ring in the shower. A man was showering one night when he heard a strange sound coming from the drain. He thought it sounded like someone was trying to get his attention, and when he looked down, he saw a ring floating in the water. He reached down to grab it, but when he touched it, it vanished. No. 1, the uninvited guest. A woman was awoken in the middle of the night by the sound of someone walking around in her house. She assumed that it was her husband, but then she started hearing footsteps in her attic. When she went to investigate, she found a small hole in the roof and a set of muddy footprints on her floor.